Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. This is Sippin' Tea with Nat and Z. I'm Nat.
And I am Z.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. What's going on this
Yes.
week? What's going on with you, Z?
Nothing. Same old, same old. Still dealing with this bullshit ass cough. So that's what's going on with me. I do get to go to the pulmonologist. Did I say that right?
Pulmonology. Yes, that
Okay.
is correct.
I am going tomorrow. Finally was able to get an appointment.
Oh, good. Good.
It's just been difficult with COVID. I've been told that appointments are like booked up until like January and February. Excuse me. And this was the first person that I was able to actually get in. And I made this appointment like 3 weeks ago. So come hell or high water, I will be there tomorrow.
Good.
So, yeah.
Hopefully get that cleared up. Maybe get a breathing treatment or something.
I don't know. I'm just, like I said, I'm just over it. And, you know, with the COVID cases spiking in this area, with the second wave being a little more, I don't want to say deadly, but just a little bit more.
It's more intense.
Yes.
As they had predicted, you know.
Right. I mean, and they did predict it.
Mm-hmm.
To now finding out that, someone that we know has it and cannot figure out how, and this person is a germaphobe to the 20th degree. So it's just a little worrisome. So I'm just trying to get this under control because, respiratory issues are not good during the time of COVID. So
Exactly. Yeah, I went for a walk the other day for like the first time since I had surgery. And I was like, don't usually carry my inhaler, not thinking. But then considering everything that's going on, I was like, let me go back in the house. And I'm so glad I did because there was a little too much. It was a little too far that I went. My body was like, turn around.
It's a lot. And like you said, when you have breathing issues like the both of us do, it can get kind of scary
and taxing. It's daunting.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to manage all that and everything else you got going on at home. So, this week, right? So this kind of folds into what we're talking about because we're talking about navigating family dynamics during the holidays. So, with everything going on, just be mindful, and we're going to get into that a little bit later. So, what's tea of the day, Reef?
So, we are not tea experts. You should speak to your doctor when drinking herbal tea, as there are potential side effects when mixed with some medications. This should not be a substitute for medications. We're not affiliated with any of these companies, nor are these endorsements. So, what we drinking today?
So, tea on the table, because it's Thanksgiving around the corner and the holidays. We went with some cranberry tea from Adagio Teas, and we'll have the website up on our Instagram page. It is a premium black tea from Sri Lanka, flavored with sweet, tangy cranberries. It's a clean, bright flavor with juicy sweetness. It's an autumn delight, and it is a great complement to your next holiday feast coming up, which your guests are sure to gobble down. Now, we're going to talk about the guest thing in a minute. And it is best served with a twist of orange peel and a little bit of honey. It's a loose leaf.
Delicious.
Yes, it's a loose leaf black tea, high caffeine, which you kind of will need to keep up with what's going on in the holidays. And you should steep it at 212 degrees for 3 minutes. Some of the benefits of cranberry tea, which is why we picked this. I mean, yes, it's very holiday-ish, but the cranberries are considered a superfood due to a high nutrient-rich antioxidant content. And for those ladies that are out there, a lot of times if you've encountered a UTI, the doctors will give you like advice about drinking more cranberry juice to help with your urinary tract and what have you. It's been told that it prevents certain types of cancer. But like we've said, we're not experts. We just going off, just letting y'all know. Don't come back and say that I got cancer but I was told I could drink some tea. Don't come back and say, but I heard. So we just making that disclaimer. And it's also good for decreasing your blood pressure. So, you're going around the folks in the family, and that may cause some some different and interesting encounters. So
Mm-hmm.
the blood pressure may it may help. It may definitely assist you in that journey of not blowing your top if it comes to that. One definite and important thing is this tea is not safe for breastfeeding and pregnant women. So it will definitely make sure that you stay away from it or just be mindful of it as you're going into this holiday season. So,
Yes.
hot tea.
Which I need some of right now because
Yes.
I feel like I got a frog in my throat. Sorry about that. So hot tea. There's a lot of hot tea. I don't know if it's because people are still riding the wave of, the election season. People started to come out and show their ass a little bit. So we do have some hot tea to spill with you all today.
Mm-hmm.
So first is Michael B. Jordan has been named people's sexiest man alive. The 33-year-old joins the ranks with the likes of The Rock, Idris Elba, and John Legend. I still don't understand that one.
That's
but
like his aura, how he presents himself.
Okay.
Okay.
Some interesting facts that I learned about Michael B. Jordan is that his company, Outlier Society Productions, was the first to adopt an inclusion rider. And for those of you who don't know what a rider is, it's like a list of demands that artists and singers and the like, it's a list of demands that they set as criteria for performance. So they may have on their rider, like, take all the red M&Ms out of the bowl.
I've heard those.
Like, I only want alkaline water. I only want chicken from Church's. Like, some of those things appear in people's riders.
Right.
But his is not superficial. His inclusion rider mandates that filmmakers enlist a diverse cast and crew. So any film that he is on, he demands that there's a diverse cast and crew, which I think is pretty dope.
Yeah.
And he has been very active in the Black Lives Matter movement this year and this year's election. So big ups to Michael B. Jordan on that people's sexiest man alive accolade.
So handsome.
Yes, he is. And he's 33, which I'm like, I am old because I remember him as Wallace in The Wire. So some little Meek Mill braids, but I digress. I digress.
Oh my goodness.
If you're looking for something to read, Obama's highly anticipated post-presidential memoir has dropped.
Yes.
Apparently, I didn't know this. Don't ask me how I did not know this. But this is like the first volume. So I thought this was just it. No. This is the first volume, apparently, in a series of presidential memoirs that he's going to be releasing. And so in this volume, he talks about the Affordable Care Act, Wall Street reform, the death of Osama bin Laden, and Vladimir Putin. I haven't read this yet, but I think I'm just going to do the audiobook. I'm still going to buy the hard copy because I like to have both. I did that same thing with Michelle Obama's book.
Same here.
So I'm going to probably do the audio and the hard copy, but I'm probably going to take this in through audio because he's narrating it. So
nice.
His voice is calming. So
yes, go ahead and use my Audible.
Yeah. Megan Thee Stallion dropped a capsule collection with Fashion Nova and her debut album this week. I would say both have been met with a little bit of mixed reviews, although the Fashion Nova line did sell out quickly. I have listened to her album. It's called Good News. It's about 17 tracks. It's okay. The fact that this is her debut album, I was like, huh?
Really?
This is a debut? Yeah. She's had a lot of features, a lot of, I guess, mix type things, but this is her first official album. I'm a little underwhelmed. I mean, like I said, there were some good songs. The first song was Shots Fired.
Yeah.
And it samples Biggie's Who Shot Ya. And she talks about what happened the night that she got shot, which is pretty interesting. And she calls out Tory Lanez and the ex-friend that was there with them that night. So, I mean, that was a key. And, everything else is kind of, she has a song called Body. And I saw the video for it. And she has like Taraji P. Henson's in it. Black China's in it. It's a pretty okay video. A lot of twerking.
So, of course.
If that's your thing, then
hey, go for it.
a lot of twerking, lace front wigs to the ass.
Okay.
So,
All right now. No Yaki number 5. Just straight up.
I don't know.
I don't know the
It's
blends.
kind
I
of
don't know the
confused.
blends. So, I can't speak on it anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
I'm
know.
not about that
I
life
have no
anymore.
idea. Taraji P. Henson had a red wig to her ass. I
Oh.
like Taraji, so I was like, "Get it, girl. She looked good. Her body looks amazing.
She looks
so,
amazing.
Yeah,
She looks
so
absolutely amazing.
I am not mad at that.
Goals. Hashtag.
Yes. Something else that's been met with mixed reviews, which is funny because we just talked about him last week. Kevin Hart released a new stand-up special called Zero Fucks Given. He filmed it apparently inside his home with a small crowd. They were like double masked up.
Okay.
It definitely had its funny moments, and it was funnier than the last 2 specials he's had. But I wasn't like, oh my God, Kevin Hart's back. He is funny as hell. I will say that I think one of the things I talked about last week about him being more concerned about being politically correct than being funny. I think he's probably heard that because he had said some pretty, I would say, I don't want to say outlandish jokes, but some jokes that makes you want to stop and be like, oh, did he just say that? Like he called his daughter a hoe. He said she's exhibited hoe activity.
Oh my God.
And it was in the context that she's starting to be into boys. She came home one day. It's like she liked this boy. And he was like, okay, great. 2 weeks later, she comes back home and says, I'm off him. I like this new boy. He's like, okay, great. And he's like, then like a week later, she came back with a third boy. He's like, whoa. Okay. He's like, is my daughter a hoe? So he said he called up an old hoe he knew in his life to ask her if his daughter was exhibiting hoe tendencies. And she was like, yep, that's how it starts. That's how it starts.
Oh my God.
So that right there, I was just like, oh, okay.
Oh my.
But it was like I said, it had its funniest moments. That probably for me was the funniest of everything. But it's worth a look if you want to do it.
Okay. I didn't know there was such a thing as a whole consultant, but now we know.
I guess it is. Hey, there's a job for everybody.
There is. Thank you. So that's nice.
If you're out there and you're listening and you a hoe,
you can become a consultant. Become your own LLC.
Hoes LLC. Hoes over everybody.
Agency. Hoes everybody over everybody agency. HOA.
So, and we are not slut shaming. I mean,
at all.
I'm using that term endearly because I if you are, embrace your sexuality.
All day, every day. Please do, because we are ashamed about it too much.
Yeah.
That's a whole other show, y'all.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Definitely.
Will Smith and Janet Hubert, they had a reconciliation after 27 years of not speaking. If everybody know, the original Aunt Viv was taken off the show, replaced by what people call the light-skinned Aunt Viv. There was a lot of controversy over that. Janet was all up and down Al Gore's internet, just talking so reckless about Will Smith.
Oh, wow.
Will Smith had some choice things to say about her in his younger days. So they finally came to the table to talk. They resolved their feud. I would say there were a lot of moments that came out that kind of showed you how they got to that place. Janet Hubert was, she was Juilliard trained. She was Miss Broadway. She was in Cats. She had just, so she came with an air of professionalism about her, and she expected everybody on set to be just as be as professional as she was. But then you have Will Smith, who was broke at the time because he didn't pay the IRS because he, was just living like young rappers do during that time. So he gets to the show and he's just like the star of the show, and this is his first real, I would say, parlay into acting. I mean, he did 7 Degrees of Separation, I think, before that or during that. I can't remember. But it was something, professionalism for him was something that it needed to be learned
and groomed for.
And what I found out was that Will Smith, grew up in an abusive home, and he used comedy as his way to kind of deflect negative tension.
Right.
But and was always seeking approval. And then if you didn't give him your approval, then that's what he said, the dragon would come out. And so he would get angry. Janet was going through an abusive relationship at home. So she was going through a lot of stuff outside of the show that probably was brought onto the set.
I'm sure at some point.
And she said that him labeling her as the angry Black woman basically cost her her livelihood and, you know, had Black people kind of turn against her. So it was good to see that healing. I'm glad that it happened. I'm glad that Will Smith owned his shit.
Right.
And he never tried to deflect and say, oh, but you did this and you do that. He just listened. He took it in. He understood and he validated her feelings, which was awesome. And then lastly, what I have was this week's versus battle.
Whoo, y'all.
With Jeezy and Gucci.
This out the
some
gate.
Tense moments.
Out the gate,
tense
Gucci
moments.
was coming for Jeezy.
Some tense moments.
Like, whoo.
Yeah. If you were watching this, and if you don't know the background, so Gucci killed one of Jeezy's friends. And it was because Jeezy's friend broke into his house to rob Gucci. So Gucci
this killed himself. Did he get caught?
No, this is factual.
Okay.
This is the factual part.
Okay.
So what was alleged is that that Jeezy put a hit out on Gucci with the Black Mafia, BMF, Black Mafia family. I think that's what the acronym is. And then tried to kill Gucci, and it didn't happen. So they've been beefing for about the same amount, like 15 years. So Gucci still, you could tell it came with that animosity, still kind of bubbled up in him. And Jeezy kind of came to me on his grown man shit.
Right.
I would say Gucci is before therapy. Jeezy is after therapy. Like, that is the best way to describe their behavior.
Right.
And Jeezy said some stuff like, yeah, let's do this for the culture. Like, all these young rappers have been dying.
Try to bring them back in.
Yeah. Tragically.
Yes.
Over dumb stuff, over beef that don't matter. And we got beef, but let's show them we can evolve beyond that.
Right.
And when he said that, Gucci did change his tune a little bit.
He did. He kind of fell back and just kept going back on the classics. All right, let's do classics. Not so much on the diss tip.
Right. So one of the funniest things I saw, it was funny to me. I'm gonna just say that. So Jeezy has this song called "Trap or Die," and if you know, he has a fiance, Jenny Mai.
Yes.
I think she's on the
Real. She just had surgery or something too.
Yeah, and she was on Dance with the Stars.
Right, so that's what it was.
They said it was probably the first time she ever heard any of his songs.
Wait, what?
That's what they said. But if y'all listen to Jenny Mai, you know, that she been about that
for a long time.
She been about that like for a long time.
Yeah.
So don't discredit her because she's been about that. And I like their relationship. I really, really do. I saw a clip of him just traveling to visit her mom. I forgot where her mom lives, but he took a flight just to visit her and check in on her and see how she was doing. So I like their relationship. I'm here for it. You know, like I said, Jeezy is definitely grown from young Jeezy. So I'm here for it. I just hope and pray that Gucci does the same.
Yeah, because the comments, I don't know if y'all was reading the comments. They were pure comedy. Pure comedy and just inciting stuff. And it started an hour late.
It did. Because they were getting COVID tested.
Oh, that's good. Okay, I'm glad for that.
And I was thinking to myself, like, you getting COVID tested? What if one of them was positive? What were we going to do then? But
they're already in the building. But okay.
It is what it is. And it was in Magic City.
Oh, that's right. That part.
So pretty sure that was a super spreader of COVID. But
I hope it's been shut down for a while.
Yeah. But that's it for me. So we're gonna go ahead and take a quick break and jump right into our tea time segment.
And we're back. So Hope y'all enjoyed the hot tea. Getting into tea time. The topic, as we said before, is navigating family dynamics during the holidays. So it's a different year, different time. 2020 has been on some, it's been on something. I don't even know. But with that being said, we all know the COVID is live and on stage. The spikes have been going on. It's just Rona saying, "Here, I'm here for the holidays too. Move over." So, with that being said, we're already adding stress to the holidays on top of just thinking how or if you're going to be able to see anybody. And if there's disagreements that you may have had because you thought you may see somebody or you've lost someone because of COVID, like this is can be a very stressful time on so many levels. But hopefully we can give you some, tips on how to have a safe and happy holiday with your friends and family to help reduce some stress. So, because of what's been going on, if you're in a warm area, have dinner outside. Some people have an easier time practicing social distancing. You can, step away for a little bit, depending on how far you are. The masks, you can take off your mask for a longer period of time and so on and so forth. So, something to think about. Something that my family and I are probably having. We're going to have a virtual gathering of sorts. There's a particular time we're going to check in with family around the U.S. and my sister in Saudi Arabia to try to check in and just say hey and see what everybody's eating and up to and stuff like that. What the officials are recommending, big time, and I could definitely co-sign with this as in my public health hat. Have a small dinner with only the people in your house if you can help it. I mean, I understand folks have not seen their family and friends in quite some time. But just because of everything, just please be careful and try to just make it an intimate dinner. And not that you haven't been in the house with those people for the past 9 months, so that may not necessarily wet your whistle, but think about it. And, if you decide to have people at your house or you're going somewhere, make sure everybody's getting a COVID test and you've quarantined before they're gathering. So with that being said, at the time that we're taping this, y'all should have been in quarantine. So if you're not, quarantined now, you might just need to pass on that. So, officials are definitely saying don't get together, but we know some of y'all listening are.
Don't listen. Y'all don't listen.
And y'all just gonna do what you're gonna do. But so if you do get together, and this may also be because you've been in the house with the same people for the past 9 months, there may be some built up hostility, some levels of conflict, and you've been trying to, I don't know, stay away from it as much as you can. And the dynamics that come with that can be a bit stressful. So something to think about, have some boundaries. Literally before you go there, before you go downstairs, before you go over to whomever your quarantine is, if these people are going to be triggers for you, have a talk with yourself about what you will and will not tolerate. If Aunt Susie over here, she has a tendency to pop off, are you going to walk away or are you going to confront her? Just make those decisions so you don't have to make them in that moment. And if their behavior is consistent and helps and is positive, then maybe you can lower your boundaries, and understand this may only be for a night. So is it worth it to get, upset about and go blow a gasket? And definitely make sure you stand in your decision. Don't go back and forth, and waffle. And now someone may pop off with a slick comment of some sort that may irritate you. And I'm not just saying that, if there's negative stuff that's going to happen, but in the event these things happen, that you'll, have some tools for you. What about you, Reef? I know you had some other ideas on some things to look into.
Yeah, I mean, because again, we're talking about navigating family dynamics during the holidays, right? So there are a lot of things that we all need to take into consideration. Like Natalie said, have good boundaries. Like we said, you're not going to listen. So if you're not going to listen, at least you can have some tips and tools to use when you have to be around family. If you, like Natalie said, have good boundaries, then you can time your time, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't stay longer than you emotionally or mentally can handle, right? You're going to stay there. I've already said I'm just going to stay half an hour. Just to show my face, and then I'm gonna go back home.
Yeah.
Or I will get there when dinner starts, and I'm gonna leave when dinner is done. I ain't gonna stay for dessert. Just don't overstay your welcome. You know what I mean? You know what your boundaries are. You know what your limits are. As soon as you feel like you get into that limit, roll out.
Keep it moving.
You may not be able to. Maybe you roll with family, right? And you can't just roll out when you want to. Maybe just take a break. Go outside, walk around, maybe find a reason to go to like the corner store. You know, we're in the time of COVID, so we are limited to things that we can take a break to do. But walking around just the neighborhood, just to take a deep breath and kind of regroup to get back into that dynamic.
Yeah. I think that's good. And then if you happen to go outside and you decide, you know what, I don't think I'm gonna come back, go get yourself a room. Maybe you decide, you know what, it's time for me to take a long walk to the Holiday Inn. Because you may, in the time of COVID anyway, it's probably much safer for you to do that anyhow. But you really may need to just have your own space.
Right.
And so you're not on top of each other. I know when I was growing up, my family was the Thanksgiving house, and we would normally have 30 plus people at our house. 30, and I mean, that's like upstairs, downstairs, the kids' table, and if you're in the family, and then everybody would stay. And people, you know, that's a whole hell of a lot of people sleeping under. People sleeping under dining room tables. That's the first time I saw my parents give up their room so that one of our my other grandmothers or aunts that were there had to sleep in their room. People, I mean, it was fun. You know that, like, I know y'all saw that meme, but all the cousins are in the family room at grandma's house and everybody's on top of each other. Yeah, so that's nice and all, but in these days, this day and age, you might want to get a room. There's some nice Airbnbs. Check them out. It may save your life.
It may.
It really may save your life.
And again, you should not be, I repeat, I wish people would take COVID seriously and stay their ass home. You really shouldn't be traveling this holiday season. You really shouldn't. And like Natalie said earlier, we understand. We miss our families, especially if you live miles apart, states apart, countries apart. But we're trying to all be healthy and stay healthy. But if you're going to be around people, like Natalie said, get a room, stay in Airbnb, limit your exposure, limit your time around people. If you are going to be in the house, keep a mask on.
Yep.
You know, make a plan. You want to strategize. You want to think about what conversations you're going to have, how you respond to sensitive issues. Again, this is important. Some people are COVID theorists, conspiracy theorists. Some people are election conspiracy theorists, right?
Yep.
You want to navigate these kinds of conversations the best way you can. And the best way to do that is to make a plan. Make sure you can ask, you have some boring questions on deck that you can fill with uncomfortable voids, right? Maybe even have a holiday buddy system, you know, somebody to tag team with, like tap you in and tap you out. Like, I can't, I'm tapping you in. You got to take on this leg of the conversation, because Aunt Margaret is talking to me sideways. And she said one more thing about my weight, about my hair.
Yes.
I'm going to go upside her head. I don't care. She's 75 years old. This woman's trying me.
That folds into triggers, because that is a trigger right there. Because there's I know y'all have seen the memes that have been out there. You know, the auntie coming talking about, oh, you looking like you put on a couple weight, you know, a couple of pounds, and then you have a clap back, and it's just, it can go left. Like, I still see you ain't married. Like, just some hard stuff that you know that she doesn't want to hear. And then relationships, like, and work, like, oh, all you do is work, and you know, they don't have anything else to relate to you on. Try to figure out what your triggers are. Really sit with yourself to figure that out. And once you do figure that out, figure out who pushes it. If you know that Aunt Margaret's over there giving you the side eye, you know to stay on the other side of the room. So like Zarifa said, you don't go upside her head. And then, you know, it's like WWF at grandma's house or whoever house you go to. So you don't want that. But making sure that you know who that is and try to woo-saw.
Yes.
You know, however you may help to detach.
This might be outside of me. Like, so in a way, I'm happy that I'm not spending Thanksgiving with my family, in a way. And it's because of my triggers. Y'all have heard me talk about this a few times during this podcast. My girlfriends hear me talk about this all the time. I have an uncle who is my trigger. Just looking at this man just sets me the fuck off. Like, it just does. Okay. He sets me off. And I just wait because I know he's going to say something slick out of his mouth. And I will say I have grown since I've had my daughter because, you know, there are times over the last 2 years where he and I have been in each other's company, and he said some triggering stuff to me, and old Zarifa wanted to pop off and pop off good. But this Zarifa was like, you know what? This man is unhappy with himself.
Right.
So
That's
what
growth.
he's saying to you is just a reflection about how he feels about himself. So just don't even go there. Just let that man do him. I will tell you guys a story at another time about last Christmas and how he triggered me with his Christmas gifts. But we'll get into that another time. Natalie's laughing because she knows this story all too well. Okay. This man triggered me with the Christmas gift. But, you know.
Yes, Lord.
And, you know, I will say, if you know your triggers, also if you're being triggered in your home, like if you're hosting Thanksgiving and you're being triggered in your home, it's your house. Remember that. You don't have to deal with that. Set some time limits. Okay. Get out. Leave. If dinner starts at 6, it starts at 6.
Hello.
And if you're late,
you don't
get a plate.
That
and that's my aunt, that.
My aunt was like that for real. And if you came late and we started without you, you better stand there in the foyer and wait till we done.
It is what it is. Somebody popping off, saying some slick stuff out their mouth, be like Martin. Kick their ass out. There's the door.
Out. You gotta go.
Don't let the door hit you with a good Lord split you. Because you don't have to deal with that in your house.
No,
I've had stories of people tell me how ignorant and rude people have been in their house. If I invite you into my home, what you're not going to do is trigger me.
Hello, please. No, thank you.
You're not going to be in here taking stock of what I got and how much money I might be making and how I was able to afford such a lavish Thanksgiving spread when you asked for money and I told you no.
But you got a nice spread here, or you got some nice new chairs and an expensive couch, and you just talking about, there's a new car in your driveway, and but you couldn't break me off a little something.
Right. Mother-in-laws coming into kitchens, talk about how this don't look right, how that don't look right.
Why you put that over there?
Like it would smell at her house. Well, guess what? Go back to your house and cook your own dinner. This is what we eating here. If you don't like it,
I know this is resonating with some of y'all.
It has to.
It has to, because it's part of life. So, and some of these situations are toxic, and you have to acknowledge the toxicity for what it is. Z and I were just talking about the tons of memes that go on. The going to the store with your cousins. Okay, sure. if that's what you want to call it, that's what we're doing. The auntie who is late that we just talked about, that comes in with a grandiose type of I'm better than you type of thing, and comes late and don't talk to nobody and stuff like that. So, and all the different stereotypes that fold into that. But there's some seriousness in that, because those are certain behaviors that have been detrimental to you and can be perceived as a generational curse, because you have those feelings that are conjured up around you that are negative when that person or people are around. That's not a good thing. That's something that you need to try to take stock of and figure out, well, why is this happening? And then figure out, how do you work through that? And then, if you keep being around people that are toxic, it's going to, and you think, maybe this year it'll be better. Maybe and you know what? Maybe they went through a whole transformation. You never know. However, we do know that doesn't always happen.
It doesn't.
So,
and we, as a group of people, I mean, we turn tragedy and pain into comedy. Black
Yes.
people know how to do that. And that's where a lot of these memes were born from, right? Somebody had dealt with a family member that may have said some of these things, dealt with some of these things. And so we turn that pain into laughter. But we really need to stop romanticizing this toxicity. Yeah, it's funny, but it's also damaging.
Very.
Now, you've grown up with an aunt or an uncle who is always talking slick out of their mouth, saying something reckless, talking to you sideways, and they've been doing this since you've been young. Now you've grown. Now you got kids. Now then you brought your kids into that mess. Now they want to start popping off and saying slick stuff to your child. They talked about your weight. Now you come in, oh, they getting a little chunky like you. You was that age. You know. What you're not
Don't receive
do
that. Don't receive that.
I'm telling you, one thing I have vowed to do is to keep my daughter out of toxic situations that I'm not saying forced to endure, but that your parents sometimes just push you in because they don't know any better.
Right.
I'm just not going to do that. For what? For what? Just because you're my uncle or you're my aunt?
Just because you don't get to pick your family, but
you don't. But I get to pick if I want to be around your ass.
There you go. There you go.
And I don't have to. If I don't want to, if I choose not to receive that energy, guess what? I'm not going to receive it.
Yes. So true.
And we need to start thinking like that. They're funny. The memes are funny. Trust me. I get a kiki out of them every
holiday season. I look forward to them.
But we really do need to take stock and ownership of how those things and those environments, those conversations and those statements can have long lasting detrimental effect on people. There's people in therapy now dealing with everybody who's in therapy is in therapy because of some shit that happened in their childhood for the most part. Childhood trauma that you are forced to deal with and live with. And a lot of these things happen around the holiday.
Yeah, so true.
And once you've acknowledged what's toxic, then you can definitely choose your battles, right? Some, you may not have emotional energy to fight everything.
Not every day.
Right? You only have so much. So only fight the battles that you know are worth fighting. The ones that don't matter, just let it go. You know what I'm saying? Just let it go. Accept folks for who they are, right? Like Natalie said, it's sometimes unrealistic for us to believe that somebody who is toxic is going to change in a year. If they was toxic Thanksgiving, they're going to be toxic Christmas. They're going to be toxic Valentine's Day. They're going to be toxic on Easter.
And all Easter. And Groundhog Day.
They're going to be toxic on Martin Luther King Day. They're going to be toxic.
All day.
So accept them for who they are. If you keep going into these situations thinking you're going to change the person, then you're doing wrong right there.
Setting yourself up.
Right. And don't take it personally. It's not about you. There's something I had to learn with my uncle. I started picking and choosing my battles. It's not about me. It's about you. It's about the way you've chose to present yourself to the world. That has nothing to do with me. Nothing. You feel guilty for a whole bunch of stuff. That's your stuff. That's not my stuff. And you're not going to push it on me.
Don't own it. Don't take that on.
So yeah, you might make a little comment about my weight. Okay. I can make a lot of comments.
About a lot of stuff.
About a lot of stuff that will hurt your feelings because it's true. I can do something about my weight. Can you do something about your liver? I don't think so.
Probably not. There's some clapbacks that people are gearing up on. I mean, and I mean it's comedy and it does help us get through. Like Z said, when we're beset with tragedy, humor usually comes through. But even just going into the one of the best parts of getting together for family gatherings is the humor that comes with that. So, the different stories that are told amongst family members from years past, or just of new beginnings and stuff like that. It helps you connect to the folks that you're with. Most of, if you think about all the memories that you have, a lot of times the good memories are attached to being connected with someone where there were different comical things that happened, that recreates a whole memory and a feeling and an acceptance of what can be good at that time with the family outside of whatever else may be going on. So try to lean into that, and laughing and stuff, it protects your body, it protects your energy. It's something that your body needs to go through, because you don't want to be with your endorphins and all of those things. So just something to think about when you're with your family, or on if you Zoom it or do a virtual. There's always going to be that one relative whose nose is up in the camera talk about, can you see me? And even so, it's an awkward situation, but you end up laughing about it because they clearly don't know how to work any
really
of the
don't.
technology at all. Is this thing on? Or you
Hello.
walk, it happens. So there's always some fun, but try to keep your sense of humor, if nothing else.
If nothing else. And, celebrate and remember the reason for the season. This is very important for me. You can expect to have a great get together and to have a good time. And, if someone is detracting from that, then just don't give that person audience. You know what I mean? A lot of times it's just what they crave. They just want that attention.
Yes.
Just don't give them the audience for it. Don't show up for the party. They invite you, don't show up. We talked about this before when protecting your boundaries and protecting your peace. Holidays have become, I will say this, in the last 2 years, holidays have brought on a happier meaning for me. I lost my mother at a young age. She passed away the day after Christmas. My grandmother I lost in 2016, and she died a few days before Thanksgiving. So for me, holidays have always been attached to some type of grief or heartbreak. And so it hasn't had the same level of joy for me. And I remember the first Thanksgiving we spent together, it was just me and my sister, because my grandmother had just passed away. Me, my sister, and her immediate family, her fiance, and my nephew. We got Chinese food because that's just what we wanted to do. We just didn't have the emotional energy to spend on cooking. That next year, we took the reins of hosting Thanksgiving and Christmas because that's what my grandmother would have done. And I have to tell you, I really struggled through that because I just didn't feel it. It just didn't feel right. It didn't feel natural. I did not like being the kind of designated matriarch of the family.
De facto.
Yeah. But then my daughter came, and I'm so excited to now spend holidays and see through her eyes what the holidays are going to mean. And so that brought back a sense of making sure that I remember to celebrate the reason for the season. Even with my issues with my uncle, I don't wish him ill. You know what I mean? I don't have any of those feelings that I used to have towards him. And I understand that, there's a level of grace that I do, not a whole lot now. I ain't crazy. But there is a certain level of grace that I do extend to him because the holiday seasons have that same effect on him because he lost the same people. He lost his sister and his mother. So I just try to remember to celebrate, be blessed that we still have the family that we have, that we have the means to provide the spread that we are able to provide, that we have the love and joy in our hearts, that we have, and even if you have girlfriends, that we do a brunch, a virtual brunch, a Christmas brunch every year, girlfriend brunch. I don't know if we're doing it this year because that group chat. I said I'm done. I can't keep playing this stuff. I'm exhausted.
Sweeper's an amazing planner, by the way. I got to give a shout out for keeping the group together. She's amazing. Just got to put that out there.
I might need to remember this So just celebrate and remember the reason for the season. Just go ahead and plan and remember the reason for the season.
Oh, Lord.
But just try with everything else. With COVID,
Yes,
with we
especially
still
with
don't know who the
COVID.
hell gonna be in the White House in
Oh,
January. Like,
Lord.
are we gonna watch Navy SEALs drag a man out the office? We don't know.
Lord. It could be anything.
Could be anything. I mean, the year ain't over yet.
Right.
Aliens could come. We don't know.
It's still early. We got a whole month.
2020 has been a whirlwind. So just keep that in mind. Just remember the reason for the season.
Yeah.
Who cares what Aunt Margaret over there talking about and Uncle Joe? You know what I
Thank
mean?
you. Yes. It's that time. You just kind of give yourself that peace and appreciate the little things.
Yeah.
Because this as 2020 has been a thorn in America's side of the world side, at the same time, there's a lot of folks that do not have the luxuries that they had at the beginning of the year.
No.
So really try to connect with those folks, kind of give them grace, as much as you can.
Right. And please, I mean, we're already late with this, but if it's not life or death, stay your ass at home.
Please, please,
A
please.
lot of people I read today, a lot of people who are getting COVID are getting it from people who are asymptomatic. Listen to that. Asymptomatic. I saw on Facebook someone who got COVID. They were at a small gathering for a family member, thinking they were safe. And 7 out of 9 people who were at that gathering got COVID. Young and old.
Cross-cutting.
They took every precaution they said. But 7 to 9 got COVID.
It's real.
Why? I mean, what do you want to do? See your family face to face now, or see them in 3 months in a casket? It's not worth it.
It's not.
It's not worth it. You don't know how anybody's body is going to react to this disease. You don't know how your body is going to react to this disease. If it's we understand. Nat and I know. I have not seen my sister face to face since March. My sister is 2 hours away. It kills me that I'm not going to be able to see her this holiday season. But I'm not. Why? Because I care about her life and I care about mine. I care about the people that live in her house and I care about the people that live in mine.
Yep.
It's okay. We will see each other. We'll see each other.
People on the phone anyway. Y'all FaceTime each other on the regular. So what's the difference?
Please.
There's a way.
And if you are going to do it, because I've seen some of y'all just be reckless. I've seen people have 16-year-old birthday parties.
Yes.
Y'all going to Tulum every other damn week. Y'all just out here being reckless. Don't care. Then get COVID and be like, pray for me.
Right. And for those that, for whatever reason, don't think that these precautions are necessary, think there's other people that have now had to deal with those folks that didn't think it was necessary.
Right.
Because now they have been exposed because a selfish person said, I'm not going to wear no mask.
Right. You got Big Mama exposed. You didn't expose Big Daddy. You know he got diabetes.
Yes. They can't move around too well. People can't go out and do as much as they used to. So just it's a matter of it's humanity at this point. Come on.
Just just do right. That's
Please.
all. Just be considerate. You can love on each other from a distance.
Considerate.
Because here's the one thing, excuse me, that I think people are failing to kind of connect. Your life is never going to go back to normal even after COVID.
No.
You think I'm going to be all up hugging on people, shaking people's hands? Hell no. Back. Give me 50 feet. I'm sorry.
Make it up.
It's just, and we have to be mindful of it, because after COVID, gonna be something else. We just want y'all to be safe.
Please.
But smart. If you're gonna go, wear your gloves, wear your face mask,
Double
pray,
up,
get some holy oil,
all that.
get some
Sage.
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 I
Florida
mean, do
water,
something. Holy
whatever.
water, do whatever you need to do to bless that space.
Whew.
Hope for the
Yes.
best.
And then if you do go, make sure you do the proper care to get tested afterward.
Yep. I'm going to give this little tidbit before we go on a break. We have a friend who has a family member who is visiting. They flew cross country to come and stay with them. Our friend has them relegated to her basement and don't care. So I put food at the door. They can come up the steps and get it.
It's true.
They got to throw away their wash rags and their towels. They in their house. Have not seen them face to face. You understand what I'm saying?
We had to do that with Jordan. We did that with Jordan. I didn't see that's our daughter. I didn't see her for 2.5 weeks.
That's what I'm saying.
Her food was left at the door.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Hey, and I relegated myself to my specific parts of the house. And no crossing. So
it is what it is.
We understand sometimes it can't be avoided, but
I think we've left you all with some really good tips to navigate the holiday season. Like we said, we know the holidays are already stressful. Then adding COVID onto it makes it even more stressful. So we hope you take these tips and tools and use them if you are going to see your family, whether it's up close and personal or even virtually. I mean, this is going to be helpful for you if you have to deal with Aunt Margaret, Uncle Joe virtually. Okay,
this mute her ass.
Yes. But we're going to go ahead and take a quick break and come back with our last sip of the day. And we're back. You are now with your hood Dalai Lama. And this is the last sip of the day. Be thankful for what you have. You'll end up having more. If you concentrate on what you don't have, you will never, ever have enough. And that is attributed to Oprah Winfrey. Again, just be thankful for all that you have this holiday season, your health, your family. Just be blessed and have a happy and safe holiday season.
Thank you for joining us this week on Sippin' Tea with Nat and Z. You can follow us on Instagram at Sippin' Tea, Nat and Z _pod, and on Facebook at facebook.com/Sippin' Tea, Nat and Z. To get any upcoming podcast topics, guests, and news, thank you so much again for listening. We'll see you in 2 weeks where we will discuss how to heal. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.